2 weeks ago, I put out a video about how my old school was super racist, and about how a bunch of those people that I had to go to school with were racist and probably very unintentionally racist. One of those kids I personally called out on my Instagram because despite him only posting a black square on his Instagram for like that blackout day or whatever, the next post that he followed it up with was a post about uncut gems, and it's clear, and he hasn't said anything else. So despite all that, he hasn't actually spoken up about the movement, because even when he posted a black square, there was no caption, there was no hashtag, there was nothing. So I was like, oh, so it's clear from your actions that you don't care about black people. Because if you did, you wouldn't be doing this. You would be speaking out against it. So I know that you just don't care. But I already knew that, considering that you didn't care back in class when you wanted to use the N-word. And you can post 4 different times about your weekend theater show to like promote that, but you can't promote the well-being of black people? Okay, I see how it is. And I used his name in that. I'm not gonna use his name in this because I didn't use his name in the last video, and that would be rude to expose him on YouTube. But if you want to know, it's on my Instagram. Actually, I think the story's gone now, but we're gonna just keep it because he's not gonna see this. And the purpose of using his name was that he would know that I was calling him out specifically. Because apparently, white people, even though I described very specific situations that they knew that they were a part of, if I don't say their name, then they can be devoid of blame and guilt, when the blame and the guilt should be on them, and it is their fault. So we're not gonna use his name here because that would just be rude, but I did use his name on my Instagram because I wanted to personally call him out and address the problematic behavior that I was seeing in the people around me, as we all should be doing. And then he saw that, which was very interesting because I know that he has not been watching my stories previously, because I've been seeing who's been watching my stories to know who I need to call out in the future, because if you're watching my stories, then you know what's going on, and if you're not gonna say anything, then your silence is being complicit in the problem, and you need to not do that. That shit's not cute. And as you can see by this whole demeanor, I was very nice and calm and proper, and I was trying to really format my words in a box for white people. But I'm not doing that shit anymore. I'm done. I'm done appealing to the white moderate. I'm done worrying about who's gonna be mad at me and who's not, because if you're mad, then you're racist, and I'm sorry about it. Get the fuck out. Stay mad. I'm done. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm fucking done. So I posted his name about it, and then he saw it. So like, despite him never seeing one of my posts before, and I didn't tag him, so I know that one of the people who we're both friends with had to have told him about it. I think I know who it was, which is very interesting considering that he has been posting about the Black Lives Matter movement, but I also been feeling that he's only posting about it to impress and appease his girlfriend, which is also kind of fucked up because I knew that he was just a bit racist because he was another one of the guys who agreed to like hear the N-word in that class. But he hasn't saying shit, so we're not gonna say anything about it yet, but I'm keeping my eye on you, you know. It's a very interesting choice to be defending a racist, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But after I posted that, then I had an influx of new white people looking at my stories. So that means that he had to have posted about it on his story, and it drove all the people to look at my story, because I have never seen any of those white people in my viewership ever, because I don't know all those white people. And they all wanted to like look at my story and be like, who's talking shit about him? And then one of his friends wanted to slide up on my story and be like, wow, so out of all the white boys to pick on, you pick on him? Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. Why don't you focus your time on an actual racist? And I was like, oh, okay, sweet tea. And I want to make it clear, though I'm calling him a racist now, because he is. If you're being silent about an issue, you are complicit in the racism. So those are just the facts. But I did not call him a racist in that post. I wanted to make it very clear because I know that word can be very divisive, and I did not want any of his white friends to come to just like cherry pick that word and be like, oh, you said he was racist, blah, 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 blah. No, I called him out for specific actions, and I never once said the word racist because I'm not giving those white people the benefit to argue me on that one little bit of semantics, because fuck you. And then I read that message and I was like, okay, random white guy I've literally never ever seen or talked to in my life. I said, first of all, I did not fuck with him. I'm calling out problematic behavior that I'm seeing in the people around me, as we all should be doing. 2, you do not get to decide what is and is not actually racist. I, as a black person, get to do that. And he was, just in case you were wondering. 3, never called him a racist. You made that connection. Maybe think about why that is. And then he saw it and did not respond because he knew I was right. So that was a fun thing I had to deal with. On top of that, the guy that I made the post about slid up, and he was also just like, I'm so sorry if I've offended you in any way. That was not my intention. And I totally see where you're coming from. I'm gonna make sure that I sign more petitions and donate and have those hard conversations with the people around me, because I should be doing more than just using my words. But I don't believe that social media is the place for politics, so I will not be posting more about the Black Lives Matter movement on my Instagram. If there's anything else I could do, let me know. And I was already not going to respond to that because it is not black people's place to have to educate dumbass white people. We are done. We've been doing it for hundreds of years. If you're only listening now, that's on you. But I responded anyways, because I was like, I guess, what was the point of this is not to try to educate and create change, you know? So I was like, this is a great first start. I would encourage you to listen to more black voices, and despite what you said, actually post more about the Black Lives Matter movement on your Instagram, because it is an important movement, and the people who see your story is going to be a very different audience than the people who see my story. You can have a greater range than this, and it's important that everybody speaks out and shares important information and resources in order for everybody to affect change. And I said, Black Lives Matter is not a political issue, it's purely human rights. We just want equality. And then he said, I hear you. I will be listening to more black voices on YouTube. If you have any recommendations, let me know. But I'm not gonna be posting more about Black Lives Matter, because despite whatever you think, Black Lives Matter is political, and it is not a good way to have a political conversation on social media. So I feel it would be disingenuous for me to speak about it. And that is the nail in the coffin. That was racist. That was so racist. That was the microaggression. That really just seals his fate as a racist in my mind. I was just, can you believe? Can you believe? How can you say, I will listen to more black voices? And then me, a black person, you're just like, but not you. That's not how this works. You have to listen to all black voices, not just the ones that affirm your opinions. That's not how this works. So, he's stupid and a racist and clearly not willing to give up his comfort in order to, help the lives of millions of people around this country, around the world. So I'm done with that bitch. I don't care. Cannot believe I invited him to my fucking birthday party and I paid for his dinner. What a fucking loser. I'm done with him. I thought that, maybe we could have some growth from that conversation, but it's clear that he's not ready to listen. So I'm done. That was very annoying. That was another thing I had to deal with. And I didn't think that I needed to personally call people out for a bunch of people to start listening, but now they are, because as soon as I responded to both those white men, I saw that they started watching my stories. So now they're a bit more informed about the situation, which is, I'll take the wins where I can take them, but they haven't watched any of them today, and this happened like 2 days ago, so I guess that they're done listening, but I got my information where I could. I'm trying to do my part little bit by little bit. So, love that. Don't you just love having to argue with racists on Instagram? How's your Friday night going? If you want to know more about the things I'm doing and ways that you can help and get involved, my Instagram's in the description. I'm posting about it on my Instagram like every day. It's truly, this is not a moment, it's a movement. we gotta be on this 24/7 until shit happens, because we're done. I'm tired of being afraid of cops, and I think you should be too.